This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore.
It may seem elementary, it may seem basic, it may seem just the most obvious thing in the world to say that the way that you find out whether someone is lying is to listen to what they say. This doesn't seem novel in any way. However, with the advent of Donald Trump's appearance on the political scene in 2015, it needs to be repeated over and over and over again. This particular topic that I'm going to talk about is Marjorie Taylor Greene, who out of one side of her mouth says, I don't care about the Twitter. It's not important, Twitter. It's where people think they're important, but they're not regular Americans. Every time I go to a thing, I could dispense with the mocking accent, but every time she goes to a political event, she asks the crowd, who's on Twitter? And only a few, a smattering, will raise their hands. And everybody on Twitter thinks it's the real world. Anyway, blah, 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 Twitter's unimportant. Yet, only days after this particular interview that you're getting ready to hear, she gives a press conference on the lawn of the United States Capitol demanding her Twitter account back. It's so unimportant, Twitter, that she holds a press conference to demand that she have it back. First, let's watch this bananas interview that she gave with some radical Catholic group. And this is the segment where she talks about how unimportant Twitter is. Watch this.
Everywhere I give speeches, I always say, how many people are on Twitter? And I want to know how. It will be less than 10 people in the room. And there'll be hundreds of people in there. Less than 10 people will raise their hand. And I just die laughing. It makes me laugh so hard because the Twitterverse, right, where all the media and the politicians and the activists and all of them live in Twitterverse, and they think that reality rules the world because it's so important. It gives me the greatest joy in the world. Every time I ask, how many people are in here on Twitter? And there's 5 to 10 people, and they're like, and then there's people who are like, oh, I got kicked off a long time ago. And so that really helped me realize Twitter is nothing. It's powerless. And how we really make it powerless is we leave or we stop caring about it. We shouldn't care about a communist platform. We shouldn't care about a godless platform. We shouldn't care about a platform that allows pornography, child pornography, but they won't let people say end abortion or my relative died from a COVID vaccine or my son is permanently paralyzed or my son has myocarditis from the COVID vaccine or I do not want to take it. The government should not force us. All of these things on there, those are not allowed to be said. Or the election was stolen. You can't say that. I mean, that'll land you in jail. Believe me, there's people in the DC jail still there today because they walked around in the Capitol and believed the election was stolen. But Twitter, we don't need it.
Oh, that's record-breaking stupid that you just witnessed. Twitter is nothing. Twitter is powerless. Twitter is a communist platform, a godless platform. So why, pray tell, Margie, would you want to be involved? Would you be begging for your Twitter account back, eager to get back onto the communist, godless, meaningless, powerless platform of Twitter? That's the question, because this interview, this press conference I'm getting ready to play, took place after what you just listened to. The liar, the disingenuous Marjorie Taylor Greene held this press conference demanding to be let back onto the godless communist platform of Twitter.
I want my Twitter account back. There's also a difference between a congressional Twitter account and, say, my personal account. On my congressional Twitter account, for all of us here, we're not allowed to talk about our campaigns or ask for money, to defend ourselves in court from political attacks and things like that. So it's important for me to have my personal Twitter account.
It's important for her, by her own words, important for her to have her own Twitter account back. Mainly because the griftapalooza continues, mainly so she can fundraise, so she can ask for money to defend herself. Look, Donald Trump has set the standard for Republicans to say one thing out of one side of the mouth and then another out of the other, so each position can be stood up and defended. Donald Trump may say one single thing that has just a hint, just a little effervescence of negative against Russia or Putin, but it doesn't stack up against the countless instances where he said something positive. But because there is that one thing out there, people can cling on to that. It's the same thing with this. Yes, she's demanding her Twitter account back, demanding to be back onto the godless communist platform of Twitter, but also it's nothing, it's powerless, and all the other adjectives that she assesses to it. Gross. Disingenuous. They are liars, they are grifters, they are charlatans, and they have no core principles among them. What do you think, though? I would love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Absolutely, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Thank you for your time and attention. Thanks for engaging with my content, liking, subscribing, doing all of the Twitter or the YouTube things. I got Twitter on the brain. I got the godless communist platform on the brain. Oh, to be Marjorie Taylor Greene. Follow me on the godless communist platform of Twitter. I am at Dollemore. I am also at Dollemore on Instagram, which might be also godless and communist. And absolutely on the communist TikTok. You know, that's a Chinese-owned company. So that's for sure. That's for sure communist. I'm also at Dollemore there. If you would like to support what I do here, please consider supporting and producing what I do. You can click the join button below this video, become a channel member for as little as $1.99 a month, or you can head on over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt Neither of those are communist because they are steeped in capitalist underpinnings. Anyway, I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.